Hi, Paul Slack. It's Good News Broadcast. I'm here with Jing Zhao Cesarone, and she's an educator. She's in Chicago, and she's going to share some good news with us. We're going to start off with a quote, and this is going to be a great conversation because she's a do-gooder and cares about children, and we're going to talk about peace and Peace Day. So nice to have you with us, Jing. Tell us your beautiful, wonderful quote.
Thank you, Paul, for the invitation to this special program about the good news and also the International Day of Peace. Chinese Confucius has a famous quote. It says, "Education breeds confidence. Confidence breeds hope, and hope brings peace." This quote has been significant for me during my education journey because education eventually brings peace to the world. And would you like me to introduce a little bit more about what I do? And then we can talk more about our plans and excitement about participating in this year's Peace Day with your organization and many others.
Perfect. Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you. So I am based in Chicago. I have a family here. I have 3 young daughters. And I originally came from China in 1998 for my master's degree in communications at the University of Illinois in Chicago. So before I come here, I was a reporter at China Daily. And also I worked at the corporate communication for Siemens headquartered in China before I came to the US.
Wow.
So after I came to the US, finished my master's degree, started a family in Chicago, and also started my own consulting business at ChildWise Business Consulting to connect companies, NGOs, and government agencies to collaborate between North America, US, Canada, also China, and beyond. So that has been my general experience. But in the last 5 years, I'm so blessed to find my passion in early childhood education, primarily from my very extremely rewarding experience of raising 3 children in America with a Chinese background and also American early childhood education system. I benefited so tremendously, and I want to bring this to more people in China, US American Chinese community and beyond. So that's how I started ChildWise International Corporation about 5 years ago to bring the US teachers training system to China, also to build a cross-cultural curriculum for children 0 to 6. So I have been doing that for the last 5 years, and it joined tremendously. And over 1,000 teachers received our training in China and also US. And many children has been participating in our program and the curriculum and activities. So that's why I was so excited, Paul, when I met you in New York, talking about the World Peace Day. And I was immediately start thinking about we can bring tons of peace-themed activities in arts, in performance or in different kind of activities for the children at the age group of 1 to 6, 2 to 6. That's the age group we especially focus on. And we do realize as educators how critical, how extremely important for children at that young age to learn the idea about peace, to learn the ways to solve problems peacefully with their little friends, with their teachers, with their parents, and how important that is and how effective it is to start that peace education when they were really young. A lot of research showed that the children's brain developed, 80-90% under the age of 3. That's an age, especially we always talk about terrible 2, and all of the trauma, so all of those we can actually, by teaching, peace-themed content to these little children, teach the parents how to do it, the teachers how to do it, by providing them not just the concept, but the activities, tools, skills, and also this wonderful platform of the Peace Day as a themed day. On that particular day, everybody to celebrate, to remember, to do something around this theme. It's just going to be such a wonderful, wonderful idea.
Is this considered, and it's marvelous. I know you, and I know about what you're doing, and I applaud you big time, because I'm also aware of how important those early days are, and I'm a grandpa, so I've seen it, firsthand. I've always said, I only know what I know because I'm now with the 2, 3, 4, 5. As the children get older, you get a better sense. You get a sense of their friends. You start to realize more than just reading about it. So, is this considered pre-K? When does kindergarten begin? And I mean, you say 2 to 6. That's pretty darn young. How do you teach 2 to 6? I mean, are they out of the house? When's pre-K? I don't even know now.
It's yes. Infant toddler is 0 to 3. So we focus a lot on 0 to 3, children education. 3 to 5 is preschool. Then 5 to 6 is kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that. So what kind of but you've also been involved with peace. You've also been at the United Nations, and why? Let me ask you why. Why'd you go to the United Nations?
Okay, that goes back to the year 2016. That's when the Sustainable Development Goals was launched. So I worked with the United Nations to bring the first group of business people, business community people, leaders, and entrepreneurs to the United Nations to head our conference on the Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs. And we did a commitment letter of 30 plus organizations to commit to participate actively in working with the UN to achieve sustainable SDGs. So SDGs has been my original initiative to be involved within a lot of UN activities. Also, comes because my background of doing corporate social responsibility. Even back in the 90s, I worked at Siemens corporate communication. My primary focus is in, corporate social responsibility. So UN SDGs actually provides a wonderful opportunity for business community leaders to participate in this sustainable development goals. Among the goals, there are education. Sorry, number 5 is education. So I later, among the 17 goals, I chose gender equality, education, as part of my main focus, because you can't do everything. You should focus on one field to make it, more effective.
Wow. Right. I love you. You're fantastic. Stupendous. I've been doing this good news for a long time, 23 years. But over the years, I've interviewed Siemens quite a few times, because Siemens is like the originator, one of the originators of the Siemens Science Fair, I believe is what it was called. And Siemens is an extraordinary good corporate citizen, socially responsible. They're in the textbooks about how to be a good corporate social responsible company. So I would say you've been blessed to work, just as I've been blessed with CBS and PBS in my career. There's a certain culture in certain businesses that speak about humanity and not only about business. And Siemens happens to be one of those companies, right?
Yes, absolutely. And back in the 1996, that Siemens 150 years anniversary, I was, in charge of Siemens. It's opening offices, joint ventures across China. I was in charge of all those activities. Every city, every venture they open, there has to be with a donation of the local community. Either start a Siemens garden for the environment, or start a scholarship at a university, or every single city, everything they do has to be tied with corporate social responsibility initiative or music education or anything R&D. So that back then I was already very involved in that in China. So that's kind of stayed with me all these years.
Great. Just a little, how do you teach it? You teach a 2-year-old differently than you teach a 6-year-old, right? Yes?
Yes, yeah.
And so what are some of the teaching, in essence, principles that you are able to share? And let me ask you a question, number 2, is it different in China than it would be in Chicago?
Yes, very good question. So to answer your first question, our whole teaching curriculum and philosophy is based on the DAP, which is called Developmental Appropriate Practice, DAP. All our curriculum, teaching strategy, everything is based on that, and which means like on different age, different developmental stage, they're differently. So for a 2-year-old, it's a lot of them, a lot of the teaching is to be with them, is more, to be accompany them, to more follow their own, interest to do, and also to engage them with different activities. For the children 5 to 6-year-old at the kindergarten stage, we do a lot of, right now, we are implementing this PBL, project-based learning. Like we involved in the project, for example, doing a plant in the classroom. We engage them in a project. They can explore, they can learn from different type of, their self-exploration and also the whole project management perspective. So it's a DAP system really provide very specific guidance for different age group, different developmental stage in terms of brain development, cognitive development, social emotional development, all have, different stage, have different characteristics. So we tailor our curriculum, teaching, class activities based on the characteristics of their different age and development stage. And the second question about it's different, it's yes and no. They have, children, all children have universal, similarities. They have common characters about being curious, being like wants to be, to be like demonstrate their own, ability, even though they are not capable yet. All children have commonalities and also have differences. All culture is the same. Culture have differences and commonalities. So I think it's all comes down, be it in Chicago, in China, or in the US, it's all about to do, the practice needs to be appropriate or, with the children in their own environment, be it, culture or, academic or environment. So it's, to answer that question, same simple way is there are more commonalities than differences.
I love it.
Ultimately.
And I'm happy to hear that answer because I'm a believer we are one. We're on one planet. This is Mother Earth from the moon.
Right.
And there's no boundaries and borders because in essence, we're all, in my mind, and I think even literally, Homo sapiens, we're all brothers and sisters related in some form, fashion, whether we come from one cultural area, another cultural area, we're all in it together. And that's the secret for world peace. We should all be loving to our neighbors because our neighbors are us.
Absolutely.
You're fantastic. And I've decided, when does the enrollment start? Because I've decided I need to go to your school. So
it's already started.
When do I start and how do people learn about it? Because I think I would love to go back to school. Mm-hmm. I really would love to go back to kindergarten. I mean, I guess I have to squish myself down a little, but I'm sure I would learn a ton of new information.
Yes. The way they're learning is very different now. And we have open enrollment, but most of our centers right now is in Shenzhen, in China, in Shenzhen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But right. I do want to add one last thing is like, my husband is an Italian American. Our kids are grown up in a, bicultural environment. I still want to say it's like, regardless children, adults, any environment, for our human being, cross-cultural family, marriage, all that, you will end up finding we have way more commonalities than difference. We are one. The difference is so insignificant, and we can work through that, not even hard, easily, if we do this intentionally.
This is from Save the Children. Everybody needs a friend. And this is all the kids are, different cultural appearances, but internally, we are all the same. Now, you also have there's a poem that you were going to share with us that I'm very excited about. I don't know if it's more than a poem, but is it a poem?
Yes.
What is it?
Thank you.
What is that? What is that all about?
All right. Thank you for the opportunity. Actually, a couple of years ago, I worked with a few volunteers to translate this Chinese author, Master Hong Tai, his work into English. It's, a volunteer-based work, so not very professionally done. But one of his poems struck me the most, and I loved the most to, recite in Chinese many times, but I never did that in English. So today I picked a few paragraphs from that poem. It's called A Call for World Peace. So which is perfect for today's theme. So I'm going to recite a few paragraphs from this poem for today's program. And really thank you very much for today's opportunity.
Okay.
All right. So here I will start with the poem. A Call for World Peace by Master Hong Tai. Peace is a magnificent world, but also tiny. Peace is a state of both near and far. People who live in peace cannot feel its weight, but those who lost peace see it as an unreachable dream. If I can, I hope that no one in the world have to bear the heaviness of lost peace. If I can, I hope peace would like a body of healthy human being, building the spirit of everyone in the world and nourishing their longing soul. Peace should not be the magic wand of conspirators. Peace should not be left in the dream of war. Peace should be cherished by everyone. Peace should become a pursuit and a belief in our human salvation. Our chaotic world needs peace. Peace is a neutral and a great voice. She represents the interests of all. She embraces all beliefs. She will be transformed into a variety of voices. Peace is the love of the source. Peace is the spring of life. Peace is our bright, shining sun. Peace will be turned into faith, filling every dark and damp corner in the world. We call for a lasting peace for generations. We will chase the pace of peace. If peace does not return to its rightful place, that is the day for all of us to continue our fight for peace.
Wow. Jing, what is peace for you? What is peace for you?
Great question. First, I have inner peace, so I can engage in my work toward building the peace in the world. This inner peace right now at this moment coming from my dedication to building early childhood education, so children can be grown up to be peaceful human beings. So that's my inner peace, building my inner peace so it can benefit the world peace.
I love this so much. I love this. I love you. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. I'm going to ask one more thing of you, though, if you can. I don't know. Can you read what you just read to us one more time? And can you read it in Chinese?
Yes, I can. Let me bring the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're all in this together. And I was always in favor of one language, but it hasn't happened. I mean, we can keep all these other ones, but it sure as heck would be helpful.
Right.
We tried in the U, we tried. I probably didn't try so hard. This Esperanza to speak one language, but boy, language, it sure would be wonderful if we could all speak one language.
Right.
By far, the quintessence of love.
That's a book.
Wow, look how beautiful it. Look at that beautiful peace sign.
Yes.
Oh, this is a beautiful book.
Bilingual. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bilingual book?
Yeah. It's partially in Chinese, partially in English.
Oh,
so the peace poem is in this book. Yeah. So I can just call out Chinese. Yes. So, this is English on this side. and this is Chinese on this side. English this way, Chinese.
Oh my God! So
Yes.
we're talking to Fumi, who is part of the Peace Pole Prayer Society. We just talked about with Chicago. I'm going to introduce you to the Chicago Peace School.
Yeah, I would love to.
And so Peace Poles have been integral to us. Let me ask you, where can people get this book somewhere?
Yes, it's at Amazon. You can look for this at Amazon.com.
It's on Amazon. Oh,
Yeah, it's
wow.
at Amazon. You should be able to find that at Amazon. Yes. And I know the author very well in China. And also I helped review the translation by, the volunteers are my friends too. We have a group of volunteers translate this into English. So here is a Chinese poem. Part of the Chinese poem is much more, eloquent and beautiful in language. Translation sometimes cannot keep the main essence of it. But this is a Chinese one. I'm going to read maybe, a couple paragraphs here.
Please.
The English one, I kind of pick a few sentences throughout the poem because it's a very long poem. I kind of, this is Chinese, like 3 pages long. But I will only read the first few.
Are you serious? The Chinese is 3 pages long, and the English is much longer?
No, it's like 3.5 page long in Chinese. In English, it's 3.5 page long. But I just think it's too long for today. I kind of.
Okay, read a little, and I'd be happy for you to interview him or her if they're still with us in Chinese even, and put it. We have Good News China. I don't know if you know, and we are on Billy in China. So,
very cool. That's wow, you are.
I've been involved with China. The Chinese put me in business in 1985.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
We brought rock and roll music to China in '88. I've been involved. I've done hundreds of events. I broke the Asian Chinese market in America. I don't know if you know that.
Beautiful.
So I've had a long-term relationship. I'm a WeChatter. So, I have a real love for the people of China. So
great. I think this year's Peace Day, could be a very good platform to connect people of all levels in China, children, in major cities, international schools, and also in rural areas, because we are working with several major foundations in China to bring these activities, learning activities, entertainment activities for children, for families in rural area. We are already in the middle of that implementation already. So I was talking to my team in China yesterday about design some kind of peace themed activities like the dove, the rainbow, art projects, put together a curriculum, not curriculum, I mean like activities folder for the rural families, in China, working with the foundations we already been working with, just provide another additional Peace Day activities 2 sets or something. That's what our team already started working on that.
I'm broadcasting everything. We have Rick over there, who is a friend of your friend, Thomas, who he introduced me to, who has done so. He did a project with Pathways for Peace, and he's right now pulling things together, and we'll collaborate. So and I can then take a video feed and show it here and to the world. So
yes,
we're all on the same page.
Absolutely. And I have to mention, I forgot just now, it's like 3 years ago on the Peace Day, September 21st, I was at the UN with a group of organizations celebrating the Peace Day, including the Young Global Leadership Foundation, and also the African View Organization, and also Jiabin University from China. That's a very major platform of a lot of public listed companies, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and the founder was in Beijing, in New York. We are there for the climate change conference. That happens to be the Peace Day. We did celebrations 3 years ago, and I'm so glad after COVID, the last couple of years, now we are able to do this again 3 years later, and we are able to bring this to the next level this time.
Yeah, I think the world is ready for a more peaceful, serene, together life because of these. I think this last 3 years did put a lot of deep thinking about life.
Yes.
And about our family of humanity.
Yes.
And I see here people are so energetic to do things now. As a result, coming out. I mean, just even getting together. I was with the mayor of New York last night. I mean, with 400 or 500 people. I mean, the big comment is, we're finally out and we're with people and unmasked.
Yes.
This mask thing is, in this whole scenario has really been deep-seated. We never lived like this. So, so now's our chance to take what we've seen, the importance with the heroes who have helped us during this time. We did 120 hours of hero shows, and be appreciative and hopefully not go back to some of our, more me ways. Let's go us. So please, Jane, I'm so happy we met through our good mutual friend, Annie Ma, and who I'm crazy about. And is a do-gooder in the world and wants to only do more, and she's involved with our peace activities as well. So, all right, what's the name of the author of this poem?
His name is Master Hong Tai. His Chinese name is Hong Tai. Yeah, and so I start with a Chinese poem. I read just a first page probably.
Please.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Yeah. 世界和平宣言。和平是一个恢宏又微小的词汇，和平是一个既近又远的状态。拥有和平的人感受不到和平的重量，但失去和平的人将它视作遥不可及的梦。如果可以，我希望世界上不再有人感受痛失和平的沉重。如果可以，我希望和平只是一个美好的赞颂词。如果可以，我希望和平就像一个健康之人的体魄，筑起世界上每一个人的精神，滋养世界上每一个人的灵魂。和平不应该成为阴谋家的魔法棒，和平不应该落在战乱的梦中。和平更不应该像一个托词，和平应该被每一个人珍爱，和平应该逃离沉重苦难的衬托，和平应该变成一种追求，一种以历史之门照进现实的追求，甚至是一种信仰，一种人类本身自我救赎的信仰。那是对杀戮的摒弃，对愚蠢的唾弃，对混乱的制裁，对苦死的悲悯。人类有多需要和平？或许就像黎明毕生追逐着破晓时分，人类需要那一份撑起信仰的曙光。和平是一个高尚的名词，一个温暖的动词，也是一个休憩在全世界任何一个角落都不会突兀的形容词。千百年来，有多少天灾起于人祸，又有多少卑劣的战争始于贪婪。人性的裂变会摧毁道与德，道德的消失依然造成自然崩解，山川巨变。此时灵性也将消弭殆尽。如果和平不能永驻，自然必将降下祸端。如果和平消逝尘埃，一切便为时已晚。唯有和平能抚平灾祸，唯有和平能承载新兴纪元。
I love it. Shay, thank you. You should. I hope you were the valedictorian at the University of Illinois, because you were a beautiful representation for Masters of Communications. You read that so beautifully. You read it in English so beautifully. This was a beautiful interview. Thanks so much, Jen.
Thank you so much. One last thing, I just want to teach you the peace in Chinese. I'm sure you can do it. It's 和平 as peace in Chinese.
和平.
和平, yes.
和平. Okay. Shay, 再见.
再见. Thank you very much for the
opportunity. See you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're working together. You're part of us now. So we're part of each other. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you.